The rain hammered against the corrugated iron roof of warehouse number 7, a relentless percussion accompanying the ache in my ribs. Sal Demarco, a nervous tremor in his lower lip, kept glancing over his shoulder. He was supposed to meet someone here, he mumbled, his voice swallowed by the storm. Around midnight. Midnight had come and gone. The docks were deserted save for us, a single flickering streetlight casting long, distorted shadows. Who was he meeting? I pressed, ignoring the tightness in my shoulder, a souvenir from Blackwood's men last night. Sal wrung his hands. I don't know, Mr. Harding. Blackwood said it was delicate. Something about a shipment. A shipment. Act was becoming a common refrain. Delicate. Something Blackwood didn't want anyone to know about. I'd felt the eyes on me ever since Lila Monroe had slipped me that locket, a strange hieroglyph gleaming faintly in the dim light of her Crestwood mansion. A relic of my father's past, she said, a key to something he's never told me. Did he say who it was? I persisted, my voice a low growl. Sal's eyes darted around. Just initials. R.V. He swallowed hard. Blackwood said it was important. Something about settling a debt. R.V. The name stirred something deep within me, a memory flickering at the edge of my consciousness. My father had mentioned a man by that name once briefly, during a hushed conversation when I was a boy. Something about an old partnership, a betrayal. Raoul Vance. Uncertain how, suddenly a pair of headlights cut through the rain, illuminating the entrance to the warehouse. A black Packard, sleek and menacing, pulled up silently. 2 men in dark suits emerged, their faces obscured by the shadows. That's them, Sal whimpered, shrinking back. Blackwood's boys. They advanced, their movements deliberate and predatory. The leader, a hulking figure with a scar bisecting his eyebrow, stopped a few feet from me. Harding, he sneered. Blackwood wants a word with you. Tell Blackwood I'm not in the mood for pleasantries, I retorted, instinctively reaching for the .38 concealed beneath my coat. Don't be foolish, Harding. This doesn't have to get ugly. He paused, then added, Raoul's here too. Raoul. The name resonated, a discordant chord in the symphony of my forgotten memories. It felt personal, significant, like a missing piece of a puzzle I didn't know I was trying to solve. I braced myself. Let's see him then. The leader nodded to one of the men, who disappeared inside the warehouse. Moments later, a figure emerged, silhouetted against the flickering light. He was older than I expected, with silver hair and piercing blue eyes that seemed to look right through me. He wore a tailored suit, and the air around him crackled with an unsettling calm. Mr. Harding, he said, his voice smooth and resonant. I'm Raoul Vance. He extended a hand. I hesitated, then shook it, the contact sending a jolt of recognition through me. You knew my father. We were colleagues once, Raoul replied, his gaze unwavering. Your father was a remarkable man, a man of vision. What happened to him? I demanded, ignoring the subtle warning in Raoul's tone. Raoul's smile was a thin, brittle line. Life has a way of changing things, Mr. Harding. Ambitions clash, loyalties shift. Sometimes people make choices they later regret. What choices? Raoul chuckled softly. Your father, he stumbled upon something he shouldn't have. Something valuable. Something dangerous. Suddenly, a commotion erupted from the shadows. One of Blackwood's men had spotted something, a small, almost imperceptible stain on the concrete floor. A dark, reddish-brown stain. Blood, he whispered, his voice trembling. There's blood on the floor. Blackwood's men froze, their faces grim. I followed their gaze, my stomach clenching. The stain was faint, partially obscured by the grime and the rain, but it was unmistakably blood. Someone was hurt here, I murmured, my eyes scanning the warehouse. Recently. Raoul Vance's eyes narrowed. An unfortunate accident, he said, his voice lacking any trace of sympathy. I ignored him, my attention drawn to a small, rectangular object lying near the bloodstain. I crouched down, carefully picking it up. It was a piece of pottery, intricately decorated with hieroglyphs. The same hieroglyphs that adorned the locket Lila Monroe had given me. Where did this come from? I demanded, holding up the pottery fragment. Raoul Vance's composure finally cracked. A flicker of something, fear, crossed his face. He opened his mouth to speak, but was interrupted by a sudden, deafening roar. A truck, its headlights blazing, barreled through the warehouse doors, smashing into the far wall. The impact sent debris flying, momentarily blinding us. When I could see again, the warehouse was chaos. Blackwood's men were scrambling for cover, the truck driver was desperately trying to control the vehicle, and Raoul Vance was gone. I stood amidst the wreckage, clutching the pottery fragment, my mind reeling. A truck, a sudden attack, the disappearance of Raoul Vance. It was all too much, too fast. Then I saw it. A single playing card lying face down on the rain-soaked floor. I bent down and picked it up. It was the Queen of Spades. The card was a calling card, A signature. The mark of the collector. The pieces were starting to fall into place, but the picture was still far from complete. My father's past, Raoul Vance's secrets, Lila Monroe's warnings, and now the ominous presence of the collector. It was all connected, I was sure of it. I turned to leave the warehouse, the rain stinging my face. As I stepped out into the night, I saw a figure standing in the shadows. It was Lila Monroe. She didn't say anything, just stared at me with those haunted eyes. Then she reached into her purse and handed me a small, folded piece of paper. "Read this," she whispered. "It's from your father." I took the paper, my heart pounding in my chest. As I unfolded it, I saw a single line of handwriting scrolled across the page. Asterisk, beware the Queen. Asterisk,